Welcome to a spectacular Halloween edition of the Really Good Films podcast, where we look back at the frightening films we've reviewed recently, but also look forward to what movies are coming to cinemas and streaming soon. The films we've covered recently have been hauntingly horrifying, from battling supernatural creatures in Sinners, to a holiday killing spree in Thanksgiving, and to finish a manipulative monster in Heretic. A variety of shocks to suit a range of terrifying tastes. Join me, if you dare, as we dive deeper into these films with our extended reviews, and, if you survive, we'll have a look at some of the films arriving next month. So, now that you know what's in store, let's start with our extended review of Sinners. Sinners follows twin brothers trying to leave their troubled lives behind, who return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. Sinners is an impressive piece of filmmaking in several regards. Music is central to the film's narrative, and it's suitably excellent, with our heroes and the supernatural villains having their own musical genres. Characterization is well done, with the movie juggling its large cast of characters with ease, while ensuring the audience connects with our heroes. I am sure that Michael B. Jordan will be praised for his dual roles as both of the twin brothers Smoke and Stack. However, my favourite performance was that of Wunmi Masaku as Annie, whose character adds a great deal of heart to the film. Sinners has fun with long-established tropes of its chosen supernatural creatures, but adds to their lore too. The cinematography also helps create an impressively immersive world. I was lucky enough to see the film on IMAX 70mm 15 per film. In this format, Sinners is mostly in the 2.76 to 1 ratio, a super wide format, but the aspect expands to the full IMAX aspect of 1.43 to 1 in intense moments. At these points, the audience is drawn closer to the action, making it even more immersive. The shifting aspect ratio never feels like a gimmick and enhances the film's storytelling. Even if you can't watch it on IMAX 70mm, it is a great film no matter what format you see it in. Sinners is one of the best films I've seen this year and is therefore very much worth a watch. Our next film has more of a comic tone, but has plenty of gore. Let's jump in to our extended review of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving sees a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorize Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the holiday, after a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy. When Eli Roth produces a film, you expect one thing in particular, and that's gore. Thanksgiving delivers in this regard, with other elements being solid but ultimately unexceptional. It balances its horror and humour fairly well, and moves briskly between its grisly kills. The extensive use of practical effects is quite refreshing, adding to the visceral nature of the film. The effects themselves are, for the most part, quite impressive, and it's rare that the gore looks fake or silly. While the film can be creative with its holiday-themed kills, other injuries inflicted by our killer will feel familiar to fans of the slasher genre. The filmmaker's attempts to capitalise on modern culture are somewhat hit and miss, with some of the teenage dialogue being a bit unconvincing. I will say one of its better moments of sadistic humour uses smartphone features to great effect. The reveal of our killer is also ultimately disappointing, feeling like a process of elimination with a post-reveal exposition dump, and it doesn't live up to the entertaining chaos leading up to it. Thanksgiving feels more like horror fast food than a family-prepared holiday dinner, but it's entertaining enough to be worth a watch, if only once. So, with fans of gore satisfied, we can move on to the last thrilling entry of our horror movie marathon. It's time for our in-depth review of Heretic. Heretic tells the story of two young Mormon women who are drawn into a game of cat and mouse in the house of a strange man. Heretic becomes progressively less interesting as it goes on. Its core idea is solid, but one whose conclusion was always going to be a disappointment, no matter what said ending was. On the whole, the film is well written, and successfully creates a great sense of tension and unease that makes it at least somewhat compelling to the end. I think that the central trio all give good performances, with Hugh Grant being particularly captivating. Casting an actor known for his skill at playing charming Englishmen as the villain was an excellent choice, and makes the film more believable and interesting than it would have otherwise been. Its religious focus is more about debate than it is about serious philosophical questions, so don't go into it expecting the film to say anything particularly deep about the nature of religion. The vocal pontification and sparring are the most compelling parts of the film, and it wisely capitalises on these strengths. Heretic is a film of two halves, and as it heads in more of a horror direction, it runs out of steam. Without spoilers, I can say it feels a little cliché and saccharine in its conclusion. This doesn't completely diminish the entertainment value of its more thriller-like first half, but will result in most viewers feeling a little unsatisfied by the end credits. Therefore, Heretic is worth a watch, but probably just once. Now that we've tested our nerves by returning to the films we've reviewed this month, let's sample what's coming soon to streaming and cinemas. On the 7th of November, we get The Choral. The film sees a choral society's male members enlist in World War I, leaving a new, demanding chorus master to recruit teenagers. The Choral looks like a sombre film filled with great emotion. It seems to balance a sense of hope with the devastation caused by the First World War and the perpetual fear of conscription felt by a generation of young men. I would be very surprised if there was a dry eye left at any screening of this drama, and I will be reviewing it soon. On the 14th of November, we get The Running Man, a remake of the 1987 action thriller which starred Arnold Schwarzenegger. It tells the story of a man who joins a game show where contestants are pursued by hunters hired to kill them. The movie's director, Edgar Wright, and its lead, Glenn Powell, suggest that this action movie will be infused with plenty of humour. Its trailer confirms the fun tone, with a sense of gleeful energy that is infectious. I hope that this sense of fun is maintained throughout its runtime, as that would make it stand out amongst the majority of dystopian futuristic features. I'm excited to see it. Now You See Me, Now You Don't comes to us on the 14th of November. This entry in the popular series sees the retired horseman illusionists reunite along with a new generation of magicians to target a global crime network and steal the Heart Diamond. I remember seeing the first movie and it being quite good fun, and this entry looks no different. Plenty of illusions and comedic dialogue make this third film look very enjoyable. If nothing else, it seems like an entertaining way to spend a few hours, and I look forward to seeing it upon its release. In contrast, on the same day comes Nuremberg. Nuremberg follows a psychiatrist who evaluates Nazi leaders before the Nuremberg trials, who grows increasingly obsessed with understanding evil as he forms a disturbing bond with Hermann Goering. The film looks like an intense watch, which is unsurprising considering its subject matter. Filled with an impressive cast including Rami Malek and Russell Crowe, this dramatic thriller is sure to have audience members wrapped in a sense of perpetual tension. I think it will be an impressive film that, while not an easy watch, will be very much worth seeing upon its release. Well, that's it for this terrifying Halloween episode of the Really Good Films podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want more from Really Good Films, follow us on social media. And of course, subscribe to the podcast too, wherever you get your podcasts. We can't wait to review more films for you soon.